Is your TV watching and listening to you? New smart TVs with internet connections able to transmit your private conversations.
Your smart TV is recording every conversation in your living room right now and selling it to companies you've never heard of. But here's what's bizarre. 5 TVs exist that actually refuse to spy, and one of them costs less than the data harvesting one you already own. Your smart TV is taking screenshots of everything you're watching, every few seconds, and sending them straight to advertisers. This isn't some conspiracy theory. It's called automatic content recognition, or ACR, and about 90% of smart TVs sold in America have it turned on by default. You didn't agree to it. You probably didn't even know it existed. But it's been running since the day you plugged that thing in. And the screenshots. That's just the appetizer. These TVs track what channels you watch, how long you pause on each show, what time you finally give up and go to bed. They even scan your home network to see what other devices you own. Your phone, your laptop, that tablet your kid uses for games. All of it gets packaged up and sold to data brokers. These companies combine your viewing habits with your shopping history, your location data, and your online searches. The result? A detailed profile of who you are, what you like, and what you're likely to buy next. That profile is worth up to $250 per person every single year. But here's where it gets genuinely creepy. One major TV manufacturer got caught recording actual conversations through built-in microphones, private conversations, in your living room. Those audio files went straight to third-party contractors, people you've never met, listening to you talk about dinner plans or argue about whose turn it is to do dishes. The worst part? Some TVs keep transmitting data even when you turn on privacy mode. Researchers found certain models sending information to servers in foreign countries regardless of your settings. That toggle you clicked? Basically, decoration. Now, I'm not saying you need to toss your TV in the trash, but you should know which brands actually respect your privacy, and which ones treat your living room like a reality show. Speaking of which, there are specific features that separate the good from the terrible. So, your TV is basically a digital spy wearing a 55-inch disguise. Now what? Well, before you buy your next television, there's a checklist you need to memorize, and honestly, it's simpler than you'd think. First up, cameras. Look for TVs with a physical camera shutter. You know, like those little sliding covers on laptop webcams? Some manufacturers actually build these in. Or better yet, find a TV with no camera at all. Yes, I've seen people stick tape over their TV cameras. My uncle does it. Works fine, but you shouldn't need arts and crafts to feel safe in your living room. Here's a big one most people miss. Can you use the TV without Wi-Fi? Can you skip creating an account? Many brands now force internet setup before you can watch anything. That's not a feature. That's a hostage situation. And the privacy policy? Read the length before the content. If it's over 30 pages, run. That's not legal protection. That's a confession disguised as paperwork. Samsung's policy reads like a novel. A boring, creepy novel nobody asked for. Some TVs offer guest modes that limit data collection. Pretty useful if you want Netflix, without feeling like someone's taking notes on your binge-watching habits at 2 a.m. No judgment here, by the way. But here's the real test. Does the TV let you opt out of ACR during initial setup? Not buried under 6 menus. Right there, up front. Brands that do this are basically saying, "We respect you." Brands that don't? They're hoping you won't notice. Oh, and if any TV asks for your credit card or phone number during setup, that's got nothing to do with functionality. They want to connect your identity to every show you watch, forever. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about which brands actually deliver on these promises. All right, here's where things get interesting. TCL might not be the first name that comes to mind when you think privacy, but hear me out. This brand actually lets you find the limited ad tracking option right in the main settings menu. No treasure hunt required. No digging through 17 sub-menus like you're searching for buried gold. And here's what surprised me, personally. You can skip creating a Roku or Google account entirely during setup. Just hit Set up as a TV, and boom! You've got a functioning television without handing over your email, birthday, and firstborn child's name. Now, TCL started in China, but they've got U.S. headquarters in California now. More importantly, their basic models running between $200 and $400 for 55-inch screens don't chain you to the cloud. Disconnect Wi-Fi after setup and everything still works. HDMI ports, antenna, all of it. But why is TCL more chill about your data than other brands? Simple math. They sell over 25 million TVs every single year. At that volume, they make money the old-fashioned way, by selling actual televisions. Wild concept, right? They don't need to squeeze every viewing habit out of you like you're a data lemon. The privacy policy situation is telling too. Roku OS, which runs most TCL models, keeps their policy around 12 pages. Compare that to Samsung's 80-plus page novel that basically requires a law degree and 3 espressos to finish. What really won me over, though? During first-time setup, there's a toggle labeled Use Info from TV Inputs. It actually explains what it does, in plain English, like they respect your intelligence enough to be honest about it. Is TCL perfect? No. But for the price, you're getting way more privacy control than brands charging twice as much. Speaking of premium options, Sony takes a completely different approach to keeping advertisers out of your living room. Sony sits in a different league entirely. And I'm not just talking about price. When you unbox a Bravia and power it on, Google TV immediately tries to seduce you. Sign in here. Agree to this. Let us personalize your experience. Most people just click through because they want to watch TV already. But here's what Sony quietly allows. You can decline everything. Hit skip on the Google TV terms, and your television transforms into what your parents would recognize. A screen. A really, really good screen. No account required, no data pipeline established, just pure picture quality through your HDMI ports. Now, why would Sony offer this option when most manufacturers force you through their ecosystem? Simple. They're Japanese. Japan's APPI privacy law has teeth. Real teeth. Companies headquartered there face actual consequences for mishandling personal data. And that mindset bleeds into their global products. Sony engineers in Tokyo aren't sitting around asking how to harvest more viewing habits. They're obsessing over whether skin tones look accurate during sunset scenes. Different priorities, different products. The Bravia processor does one thing exceptionally well: making whatever you're watching look better. Upscaling old DVDs, smoothing motion in sports, handling dark scenes without turning everything into muddy shadows. That's where their R&D money goes. Not into building advertiser dashboards. You'll pay somewhere between $600 and $1,500 depending on size and model. That stings compared to budget options. But here's the trade you're making. Sony profits from selling you excellent hardware at healthy margins. They don't need to monetize your Tuesday night binge session to make their quarterly numbers work. Consumer Reports agrees. They consistently rank Sony among the most transparent brands about data collection practices. Premium price, premium picture, premium privacy approach. But what if you want the absolute best display technology available while still controlling your data? LG has something interesting to show you. Here's the thing about LG. They got caught doing something shady back in 2013, tracking viewing habits without telling anyone. Got fined for it too. But here's where it gets interesting. That embarrassment actually made them better. Way better. Their WebOS system now has a dedicated privacy dashboard that shows you exactly what data they're collecting. In plain English, not lawyer speak buried in 90 pages of fine print. You want to turn off their version of ACR? It's called Live Plus. One toggle. Done. No hunting through 7 different menus like you're searching for buried treasure. Now let's talk about why LG can afford to respect your privacy. They make their own OLED panels, the actual screen technology. That's where their money comes from. They're not desperate to sell your viewing habits to the highest bidder because they're already profiting from having the best picture quality on the market. Makes sense, right? And the offline capability is genuinely impressive. Set up your TV once, disconnect from Wi-Fi forever, and you lose nothing except streaming apps. Every HDMI port works. Antenna works. It's basically a gorgeous dumb display that happens to have smart features if you want them. The catch? Price. You're looking at $1,000 to $3,000, depending on size and model. That's not pocket change. But think about it this way. You're paying for picture quality and paying to not be the product. With budget brands, you pay less upfront because they plan to make it back, selling your data for years. LG flipped their reputation completely, from privacy violators to one of the most transparent TV brands according to Consumer Reports. Sometimes getting caught is the best thing that can happen to a company. But what if you want privacy without spending a month's rent? There's actually an option that surprised even me. All right, here's a brand with an interesting backstory. Back in 2017, Vizio got caught red-handed. They'd been secretly tracking 11 million customers without telling anyone. The company paid $17 million to settle that lawsuit. Now you might be thinking, why would I recommend a brand that got busted for spying? Because getting caught changed everything. See, after that lawsuit, Vizio had to completely rebuild their privacy controls from scratch. Federal regulators were watching. Consumer groups were watching. They couldn't afford another mistake. So what happened? They actually built better privacy tools than brands that never got caught. The new Vizio TVs now show you a clear ACR opt-out right during initial setup. No hunting through menus, no confusing legal language, just a straightforward toggle that asks if you want your viewing tracked. Revolutionary concept, I know. There's also a limited ad tracking option that, and this shocked me, actually works. I tested it myself. The amount of targeted ads I saw dropped noticeably within a week. But here's the simplest approach with any Vizio. Just never connect it to Wi-Fi. Done. All your HDMI inputs work perfectly. Antenna connections function fine. You've got a beautiful large screen that minds its own business. And we're talking $200 to $500 for screens that would cost double from other brands. That's real money staying in your pocket. The company now publishes transparency reports too. They actually tell you how many data requests come in from advertisers and how many get denied. Most brands hide this information like it's a family recipe. My grandmother always said, people deserve second chances, especially when they prove they've learned something. Vizio learned the hard way. Your benefit? Better privacy controls built by a company that knows exactly what happens when they mess up. Now, if you want something even cheaper with surprisingly decent privacy options, there's one more brand worth knowing about. Here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Amazon, the company that wants Alexa in every room of your house, actually sells one of the most privacy-friendly budget TVs on the market. I know, I nearly choked on my coffee when I discovered this too. Insignia is Best Buy's house brand, and their Fire TV Edition models have a secret escape hatch. During setup, just keep hitting, "I'll do this later," when Amazon begs for your account info. Eventually, the TV gives up, like a pushy salesman who finally takes the hint. And boom! You've got a basic display that works perfectly fine. These things start around $150 for a 43-inch screen. $350 gets you 55 inches. Not bad for a TV that doesn't require a blood oath to Jeff Bezos. But here's what really surprised me. Unlike Echo devices that basically demand voice activation, Insignia TVs let you completely disable Alexa through accessibility settings. Your remote still works. You just won't have a corporate assistant eavesdropping on family movie night. The Fire TV software? Totally ignorable. Plug your game console or cable box into the HDMI ports and pretend the smart features don't exist. My uncle did exactly this. Uses his Insignia like it's 1995. Couldn't be happier. Now, why is Best Buy playing nice with privacy? Simple. Their entire privacy policy is only 8 pages. They make money when you buy the TV, not when they sell your viewing habits to advertisers. Old-fashioned business model, honestly. And if you connected it to Wi-Fi but later changed your mind? Factory reset. Everything gets wiped. Start fresh as a dumb display anytime you want. It's like a privacy mulligan. So you've found the right TV. Great. But buying a privacy-respecting television is only half the battle. The setup process is where most people accidentally give away everything. All right, you bought one of these TVs. Or maybe you're stuck with whatever's already in your living room. Either way, here's how to make any smart TV less nosy. First rule during setup: hit skip, like your privacy depends on it. Because it does. Every optional agreement is another door you're opening to data collectors. The stuff the TV actually needs to function? That's never optional. Now comes the treasure hunt. You need to find ACR settings, but manufacturers hide them like teenagers hide report cards. Look for anything labeled viewing data, smart interactivity, recommendations, or enhanced viewing. Found it? Turn it off. Here's a trick most people miss. Connect your TV to a guest Wi-Fi network. Separate from everything else. Why? Because smart TVs love snooping on other devices in your home. Keep it isolated and it can only see itself. Lonely? Yes. Secure? Absolutely. Voice assistants are next. Disable them completely. I know, talking to your TV feels futuristic. But you know what else feels futuristic? A corporation recording your living room conversations. Use the remote buttons. Your thumbs still work. Then find Limit Ad Tracking in your settings. Does this stop all data collection? Nope. It's more like asking politely. But it does reduce the personalized advertising nonsense, which is better than nothing. And those preloaded apps you'll never open? Uninstall them. Every single one is a separate data pipeline running in the background. Candy Crush on your TV isn't just ugly, it's actively watching you ignore it. This whole process takes maybe 20 minutes. That's less time than one episode of whatever you're binge-watching. Look, perfect privacy with a smart TV is like a dry rainstorm. Doesn't exist. But these steps get you closer to watching television without feeling like you're the one being watched. Your living room should be yours. Act like it.